Now next we'll talk about a bill of exchange, which is the second category of discount instruments. Now a bill of exchange, or otherwise called as a trade bill, okay, is an order to pay a specified amount of money to the holder either at a specified future date or on presentation. Okay, so that means, okay, it's actually like a short-term IOU, short-term IOU. Alright, so if you are the holder, okay, you can expect that, okay, at a future date, okay, someone will have to pay the holder back the money, and this kind of a bill is called a time draft, since this is dependent on a future date, which is a time, okay, or it can be on presentation, which is any time wherever this holder presents the IOU to the IOU, okay, the borrower is expected to return the money back to the holder, and in this case it's called a sight draft, okay, since this is based on sight, and whereas on the future date is based on time. And bills of exchange, again, since it's discount instrument, it's non-interest bearing, okay, and it's primarily used in international trade, okay, international trade, because in international trade you might have companies from different countries, different domiciles, and to make sure that there is a binding contract, okay, that there is a binding agreement to pay a fixed amount of money to a party at a future date, okay. Bills of exchanges are typically used in that case to bind parties, okay, to agree to pay money at a future date. So to understand bills of exchanges better, alright, bills of exchanges better, you can actually relate that to a normal check issued by yourself or your parents, okay. Now a normal check, okay, over here it would state to pay to, okay, to Tommy, for example, and the amount, and let's say you write the amount here, okay, over here it's 500,000, and there's actually a date field over here, okay, and this date, okay, can be at the current date or it can be at a future date, alright, or current date, okay. So this is a normal check, alright, and if say the date is in a future date, okay, that means you can only bank this check in on or after the future date, in which this would make it similar to a bill of exchange, alright. So you can think of this as similar to a check, okay. So bill of exchanges, an issue of a bill of exchange can actually ask a third party to do it on behalf of them. For example, I have A, okay, firm A, and I have firm B, right? Firm A can actually task its bank, okay, to issue, right, a bill of exchange to it, a bill of exchange from the bank to firm B, and the bank is doing it on behalf of firm A. In this case, we call such a bill of exchange a bank draft. Okay, why do this happens? Typically it's because firm A has its money, it has its cash in the bank, and hence the bank will issue on behalf of firm A. And this is typically what we do also in a check, right? We issue a check. It's actually the bank issuing the money on our behalf to another party, okay. So in this case, there's a third party, which is the bank. Alright, actually firm A can also issue a bill of exchange directly. Okay, I'll just call it BOE, a bill of exchange directly, in which this will be called a trade draft. Okay, we have a similar concept to the bill of exchange, which is a promissory note. However, in promissory notes, okay, we only have an issue of a bill of the promissory note directly from firm A to firm B. Okay, so in a promissory note, there is no third party. Okay, there's no third party. But in a bill of exchange, there can be a third party. Okay, so how do you relate bill of exchanges to T-bills? Okay, very simple. A bill of exchange that's issued by a government is a T-bill. Get that? Alright, so a bill of exchange, okay, issued by a government is a treasury bill.